Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. Today we're going to show you how to make the improved whiskey cocktail. This is a Jerry Thomas drink recipe. Let's see if I wrote the date down. I think it's 1876. This recipe, the improved whiskey cocktail, is based on the fact that the original whiskey cocktail would have been an old-fashioned. So you could also call this the improved old-fashioned. The recipe breakdown, slightly more modernized with the units of measure and stuff from the original. I'll put a picture up of the original recipe taken from the original print. However, here is the recipe breakdown. You can use a rye, you can use a bourbon. The recipe just calls for whiskey. Originally, it would have probably been served rye. Then as time went by, bourbon caught favor, and it would have been with bourbon. I'm going to use whatever this is. So we're going to use 2 ounces of Woodford Reserve double oaked. It's 45.2% alcohol, and it's about 2 ounces, so good. A barspoon of Maraschino Liqueur. Maraschino Liqueur is freaking awesome, so this is probably the key to improvement of an old-fashioned. 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. The original calls for gum syrup. I'm going to use gum syrup. I happen to have some gum syrup. This is a Demerara, so it's going to give maybe a little Demerara taste to it, but it's 1/4 ounce. It's not going to, it's really just there as a sweetening agent. Just when you think you have all the recipe ingredients out, you don't. Dash of absinthe. You can leave it out if you don't want to. I'm just going to rinse it in my old fashioned and dump it out. The recipe I saw on liquor.com used a combination of Angostura Bitters and Peychaud Bitters. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what the original recipe calls for, only because I'm cool enough to have Adam Elmgrib, I can't remember how to say it. I used to sell these. Boker's Bitters. This is what the original recipe would call for. Obviously not this specific brand of Boker's Bitters, but this is a reinventation of Boker's Bitters, which is dead and gone. It's been over 100 years, 200 years, whatever. So it's been a while. Other people have come up with approximation. So I'm going to use their approximation. If you don't have that, you could use Angostura Bitters, which also is allowed in the original recipe. It says Boker's Bitters or Angostura Bitters, or the combination of these two. Especially if you don't have absinthe, this will work good because it has that wormwood-like flavor. And a lemon twist. Twist that up at the end. Show you how to do that. And espresso around the edges of your glass. You're like, that's pretty brave. No, I pre-measured. Use this to figure out the 2 ounces and put it back in. Special effects. Boom. 1/4 ounce simple syrup, gum syrup, whatever. This is bourbon. It just is double oaked. Kentucky straight bourbon. Yep, it's bourbon. Just a bar spoon or less. Doesn't really matter too much. This is really just to control it. Of absinthe to your glass. Rinse it around. Dump it. Glass is prepared. Bar spoon of Maraschino Liqueur. This has a nice easy pour, so it's not too bad. Ooh, a little over. Can't go wrong with a little Luxardo Maraschino. I'm going to show you how you could do a simple lemon twist without a lot of work. You can try doing the zesters and doing the twist traditionally, like using the specific tool for it. However, if you have a potato peeler, which most people probably do, you could do this. One of the beauties of a potato peeler is you get very little white pith. Let's see, you should be able to see that there's very little pith on there. The pith is bitter. You want that to stay on this side of the lemon. We're going to just pretty it up. Unnecessary step, but fun nonetheless. So now we have a nice straight one. We could even add some edging to the sides. Boom, like that. We got our twist ready. We're going to let that sit to the side. If you look at the original 1800s recipe, Jerry Thomas basically says shaved ice. I don't know of anybody who's using shaved ice. I don't have a snow cone maker or anything like that. So crushed ice or just ice from an ice bag will probably be fine. And he doesn't even say to like put it in a mixing glass and all that stuff. He just like use ice. Give that a 30-second stir. While we do that, let's talk about this recipe from Jerry Thomas for a second. The recipe called for, if you ever read it and you're confused, it calls for 2 dashes of Boker's. Then it says 3 DO of gum syrup, 2 DO of maraschino, DO as DO means ditto, so just whatever the other unit was, do that again. He also uses a wine glass of bourbon, so that's fun. Because all those standard wine glass sizes. So I would go with a more modern recipe from a bartender that's kind of pre-balanced, using more units so that it's reproducible. A lot of the old bartenders from the 1900s, like back in the day when these classic cocktails were just what you'd call a cocktail, it was kind of by feel, like they just made it, and you couldn't even make them at home anyway. You didn't have the gear, you didn't have the alcohol, probably couldn't afford it, so it was more of a magic. Today, there's a science, but it's precision, and it's easy to replicate at home and save yourself a ton of money. And 1/8 and 1/4 of a teaspoon was what they called a dash. We have dashers and stuff like that now, so it's a little easier. If you want to go with that, big single cube of ice, you can do that. Now we've got this rinsed with the absinthe, so you've got a little bit of, you can smell the black licorice in there. You can smell the absinthe, but that's kind of all you're going to need. We can express this over the drink, right? You want to bring out some of the oil, so you're going to twist it up to get the oils to pop out. And then once they've reached the surface, which I can see, it's on my hands, you're going to take that and you're going to go around the edges of the glass to moisten the edge, which is actually one of the notes that Jerry Thomas put in the book. Although people do this all the time. It's like, it's not revolutionary. It's kind of a neat idea. Throw your twist in there. You are done. That, my friends, is an improved whiskey cocktail. Smells like freshly squeezed lemon, which is cool, especially since there's none in here besides that little freshly twisted lemon. And I went with this. I thought of doing the old fashioned and kind of covering that, but I didn't have an orange, but I had lemons. So I was like, well, how can I fix this? And then I discovered, oh yeah, the improved whiskey cocktail. It's got a little bit of lemon, no maraschino cherries, no fruits and stuff like that, nothing to muddle, no sugar cubes, super simple. Taste-wise, it's actually kind of sweet. I get a lot of oak because this sucker has some nice buttery, creamy oak. Like, this is an oak explosion, and it's not that higher proof. I think it's only like, what, 5%? So it's like 10 proof more than normal. Oh, there it is, 90 proof, 90.4 proof. I like the overproof. Typically, I would go more near 100, especially in drinks like this, but whatever, 90, 100, it's close enough. But it's definitely got a lot more bombastic oak flavors coming out. The whiskey in an improved whiskey cocktail is going to play the main role. So use your favorite whiskey. I was going to, if I didn't find this, I was just going to use some Elijah Craig, which would have been perfectly fine. I think it's a little higher proof. That one, yeah, it's like 8 points more maybe. Wouldn't have been that much stronger. But the funny thing is the sweetness of the Luxardo, like the earthy sweetness that comes out, like almost like a nutty flavor. Definitely interesting. Also, you've added in that little gum syrup, which is going to sweeten a little bit more. So you really do want to use a pretty good, solid, aggressive bourbon so that you can get some of the flavors. Otherwise, it's going to be very sweet forward. So I probably would stay away from cheaper whiskeys like Maker's Mark. And I say cheaper, like not like bottom of the shelf, but like they tend to be a little bit sweet forward, a little less on the cost, where something like this, I don't know how much I paid for that little bottle, but considering it's a little bottle, I'm guessing a normal size bottle would have been a lot of money. I would probably go with like a $45 to $50 bottle of whiskey. Nothing like super high. You could use barrel at $80 or more. That's completely fine if that's what you want to do. It's not going to make this cocktail worse, that's for sure. But I probably wouldn't go with like Jack Daniels or Buffalo Trace. I'd just kick it up like an extra $10 or $15. That's it. It will work. It's just probably going to be very sweet. You need something to curb some of that sweetness. And you do get the maraschino out of this. I think most people I know would actually like this cocktail. Whiskey, a lot of the folks I hang with, whiskey sour fans, strong cocktail fans, Manhattans, stuff like that. That's the type of personality that's probably going to like this drink. I think it's a little bit sweet. Even when you're looking at like a sweet vermouth and a Manhattan, this is going to be a tad bit sweeter tasting because of the simple syrup and the maraschino combined. But I think it's almost like a powerful, potent dessert-based whiskey cocktail, which is fantastic. Of course, if you're into daiquiris or pina coladas, this thing is probably going to hit you like a ton of bricks. People say that anymore? I might be getting old. So there you go. So on Squeak Easy, launched today, because I'm making this video and I'm going to literally launch it. Launched this morning on Squeak Easy, we did the paper plane. So if you want to see our cartoon guinea pig and trash panda make you a paper plane and give you a tasting notes for it, check that out. It'll be at the end of the video. That's it. Down below, bartender starter kit at awesomedrinks.com. We're done, and we're teaching you how to drink.